Hey friends, I feel like a lot of people are getting kind of paralyzed by the complexity of this assignment, which I totally understand. It is 100% a complex assignment. But let me show you how I would break this down and work through it to make sure you can get all of your 105 points, and you can do it in a timely way, so this doesn't have to take you forever. Say I'm working through this, and let's say I'm down here at this term, industrial agriculture. 1 point for using it, 1 point for defining it, 1 point for correctly incorporating it into my answer. So maybe I'm stuck. I don't know what I'm doing yet. So just type out, write in your answer, industrial agriculture. Hey, that got you your first point right here. Now write that definition. Google it up, make sure it's consistent with what we've learned, or you can look it up in the index of your book, and now you can type that definition. You can say industrial agriculture is a type of agriculture that uses mechanization and standardization to efficiently grow crops. Well, there you go. Now you got two of them, two of those points, and for this third one, look, you've got awesome opportunity to do that right down here, because one of these questions is asking you to talk about industrial agriculture, and you're going to get your third point for correctly using it right there. So let's go ahead and talk about this since we're already on the topic. Let's type this into our answer. 2 reasons why industrial agriculture in Sembia is probably necessary for it to urbanize. Look back at your slides about agriculture. Look back in your book. Look back at your homework assignments. Here's one reason. Industrial agriculture is super efficient. You can produce way more food with less human effort. We have a slide saying that only like 5% of the population in industrial nations like the United States, only 5% works in agriculture. And so what does that mean for Sembia? That means if we do this in Sembia, only a small amount of their people have to grow their food. Everybody else has free time to work in urban careers to help them urbanize. How about another reason? One of the reasons we do industrial agriculture is to produce food efficiently, which means it is cheaper. If the country is spending less of their resources on buying food, then they got more resources that they can use to develop their city infrastructure instead to urbanize. Boom, there's 2. I've gotten these 2 points, and now I've gotten all 3 points for industrial agriculture. Dang, I also used the word urbanization in here too. If I go ahead and define it, I've gotten all 3 points for urbanization, using it, defining it, and incorporating it in my document correctly. What else we got? We're still talking about industrial agriculture, and might as well do number 4 since we're already talking about it for 6 points. 3 environmental or human health risks from it, and a way to mitigate each. 3 points total for this part, 3 points total for this part. So look back at your slides. What we got? Industrial agriculture uses synthetic fertilizers, and those can run off of the fields, go into our wetlands, and cause algae blooms and dead zones, eutrophication. All right, so there we go. We got one of our environmental risks, and guess what? Now we have used this term, where is it? Synthetic fertilizer. Might as well go ahead and define it, because now we've also incorporated it in our document, and we can get all 3 points for synthetic fertilizer. How do we mitigate that? Check it out in your slides. Check it out in your reading. One of the ways is you can grow wetland plants on the edge of your water bodies, which will absorb those nutrients from that fertilizer before they enter the open water. Another environmental risk. Industrial agriculture uses a lot of pesticides, which can impact biodiversity by killing non-target animals. That's also maybe a human health risk too. How do you mitigate it? Well, maybe you can grow genetically modified crops that have genes to make them resistant to pests, so you don't have to use those pesticides. Oh my gosh, guess what? We just used GMOs, and we also correctly incorporated it in our answer. Add a definition, you got all 3 points for this one too. Another one. Industrial agriculture uses machines. Remember, we talked about how that big machinery, like those big tractors in our sugarcane field, compress the soil, removes the pores in between the soil. This makes it hard for water to soak into the soil. It increases runoff. It decreases nutrient availability. What's the way to mitigate that? If you want to dream up like some alternative to those machines, fine. You could also just say, hey, we can make sure we are plowing our fields at the beginning of every planting season to loosen that soil back up again. Boom, you've got all 6 of your points right here, and you've got all 3 of your points for several of your terms. I've been talking for just under 5 minutes now, and we've gotten like, maybe 15-20% of, maybe 15% of this done. So just keep on working through. Do it in a regimented way. Just work through each one of these, and when you're using these terms, make sure you take the opportunity to define it, and you will be done before you know it. Feel free to email me any questions for any guidance. Feel free to ask me in person. You can do it.